Also tell our viewers how, while pronouncing today's judgment, ladies and gentlemen, Special Judge A.K. Lahoti said that the prosecution failed to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. Let's take you through what the court said today. Observation number one, there was manipulation in the medical certificates is what the court said. This was a botched up case. Another observation that came out of the court today was they failed to show that the bomb was planted on the bike. The court accepted that yes, there was a bomb blast that took place, but whether or not it was placed in the motorcycle is something that hasn't been proven in court with the help of evidence. Another observation by the court today is that there was no evidence of RDX in Lt Col Purohit's house, something that he had been accused of in this entire case. Also saying that there is no evidence that Colonel Purohit assembled the bomb and therefore, no evidence against him, no reason for him to be in jail. Another observation that the court made today is that there was no evidence of who parked the motorcycle. This is something that was, a question that was being asked again and again. No evidence against it, no proven proof that who placed that particular bomb on that motorcycle, as well as who parked the motorcycle there. The court also said the IO did not make any sketch map on the spot. This is regarding the investigating officer of this case, that there was no on-the-spot sketch that was made. No empty shells were seized and no DNA was collected. So obviously these raise questions about the kind of investigation that took place right from day one, right from when this blast had occurred. The court also went on to say no fingerprints, dump data was collected. So clearly, pointing towards how this entire investigation was a botched up investigation to suit a certain political narrative. The court also said today that evidence was contaminated and the result therefore cannot be accurate. We cannot rely on these results. Also going on to say that the same vehicle was there, but the chassis number was wiped out. This is something that the court also said today. So no cogent and reliable evidence against Sadhvi is also something that the court said today. We'll keep getting you more on this. Listen into what Chief Minister Lt Fadnavis has said.
जानना चाहेंगे कि आज मालेगांव बम स्फोट का निकाल सामने आया है, किस तरह से देखते हैं?
देखिए, जिस प्रकार से कांग्रेस प्रणीत यूपीए सरकार ने भगवा आतंकवाद, हिंदू आतंकवाद, ये नैरेटिव सेट करने के लिए षड्यंत्र रचा और ये पूरा मालेगांव का केस तैयार किया, आज उसका पर्दाफाश हो गया है। कोर्ट ने सबूतों के आधार पर ये कितना खोखला था, ये कैसा षड्यंत्र था, ये किस प्रकार से रचा गया था, ये सारी चीजें सामने लाई हुई है। और एक प्रकार से केवल वोट की राजनीति के लिए अपनी वोट बैंक को और विशेष रूप से एक पर्टिकुलर धर्म की वोट बैंक को खुश करने के लिए जिस प्रकार से नैरेटिव लाने का प्रयास Congress.
Sir, I will make the statement. Please don't shout. Don't ask me the question. I am not supposed to answer any of your questions. First of all, I am extremely grateful to all of you. I am extremely grateful to the country and all those who stood by me and by us. I am grateful to the judiciary for understanding the case and delivering justice to all of us. I only will say that during all this fight, all my friends, my colleagues, especially the armed forces, my army, the way they stood by me, I have no words to express my gratitude towards all of them. We are a great country. I expect and I wish that everyone should contribute positively towards it. Malais are over, should not be there. Let's be forward looking. We are a developing nation. We are developed. माझी फक्त एवढी विनंती आहे, सगळ्यांना सांगतोय की जगात वाईटापेक्षा चांगलं खूप जास्ती आहे. ठीक आहे, जे घडलं त्याच्याबद्दल चर्चा करण्यामध्ये अर्थ नाही. जे पदरात पडलं यश, त्याच्याबद्दल सर्वांनी समाधानी राहायला पाहिजे. त्याप्रमाणे मी देखील समाधानी आहे. ठीक आहे, कुणाच्याही विरुद्ध बोलण्यात कुठल्या मला काही स्वतः स्वारस्य नाही. ठीक आहे, ज्या प्रकारे आतापर्यंत राष्ट्राने माझ्याकडून सेवा करून घेतली, कोर्टाच्या या निर्णयानंतर मला तशीच सेवा पुढे करता येते, याच्यात मला जास्ती आनंद आहे. आणि माझ्या मातृभूमीने मला त्याच्याकरता निवडलंय. याच्यासारखं दुसरं सुख मला दुसरं काही नाही. काय आहे, आर्मीमध्ये जय हिंद आणि आर्मीच्या माणसाला जय हिंदचं दुसरं काही माहित नसतं. याबद्दल जो अभी हिंदी में बोलूंगा मैं.
दहशतवाद म्हणून खूप घिणवलं गेलं.
इस राष्ट्र ने मुझे सेवा करने का मौका इसके पहले दिया, बेल पर आने के बाद भी दिया, और परमात्मा की मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि इसके बाद भी वो मुझे मौका दे रहा है. एक निर्दोष निकलने के बाद मैं चाहता हूं कि भगवान और मातृभूमि हर एक को ये मौका दे और देते रहते हैं. कमी हम में होती है कि हम उसका फायदा नहीं उठाते. ठीक है, तो देश का काम करो भाइयों. ठीक है, और कुछ नहीं है, देश के सिवा और कुछ नहीं है. ये अपना देश है, हमने काम करना चाहिए. जय हिंद.
मानते हैं कि पुलिस उसकी नहीं जिम्मेदार.
देखिए, मैं पहली बात तो ये कहना चाहता हूं कि ये पूरा षड्यंत्र ये कांग्रेस प्रणीत यूपीए सरकार का था. पुलिस ने उनके दबाव में काम किया, क्योंकि 9/11 के बाद इस्लामिक टेररिज्म इस प्रकार का जो एक नैरेटिव कॉइन हुआ और पूरे.
This was the Maharashtra Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis. Before him, you heard the first reaction of Colonel Lt Purohit, the man who must be breathing free today for more reasons than one. And to take this conversation forward, we have someone who needs no introduction. Mr. RVS Mani, the former Under Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, the insider of this case really. Mr. RVS Mani, you've spoken to Times now in the past on many occasions. I thank you for joining us once again. What do you make of what the court has?
The court has simply reinforced what is the truth. There is no issue about, there is no two questions about it, there are no two opinions about it. Court has gone through. Of course, it takes time to call out the truth, but as I can say, Satyameva Jayate is a single line in which I can say today I am a very happy man today that what I have been speaking for 17 years is now vindicated very clearly by the court. Satyameva Jayate. Thank you.
Mr. RVS Mani, I want you to speak freely today. You know, you are a man of few words, but sir, you must speak your mind today so that the people of this country know what you went through, what you saw vis-a-vis Sadhvi, Pragya and Colonel Purohit specifically. And you've also written some of it in your book. There's another book that has come up, but we'll talk about the book later. But if you could re-jog the memory of our viewers and tell them how it all began.
See, 1st June 2006 itself, the myth of the falsehood of Hindu terror was sought to be seeded. I have already called out that Shivraj Patil was a very unattached, uninvolved Home Minister, and Mr. Digvijay Singh used to run the office practically, de facto. That was the situation. And one of the officers was conferred Ashoka Chakra also, used to accompany him. This also I have pointed out, that how a Maharashtra cadre officer is in cahoots with the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister. Right. Having said that, they wanted to cull out, dig out cases of Hindu terror, which were none. There was not a single case as far as terror attacks were concerned. Then it took on, then they called our Samjhauta blast, which happened immediately after that. They tried to frame it as a Hindu terror. Now the court has cleared any doubts about that. Makkah Masjid happened. They wanted to clear it, brand it as a Hindu terror. Hindu activists were arrested. They all are honorably acquitted. Subsequently, 2006 Malegaon and 2008 Malegaon, both of them, it is the same outfit, Ahle Hadith. Ahle Hadith is an extremely radical form of a particular religion, Islam, and they were involved in it. Not only me, the first responder to any terror attack is the local police. And the IG Nasik at that time is now already on record, Mr. P.K. Jain, in several channels, saying that Ahle Hadith. We are converging on that. We had all the reports. But the basic question which happened is, how is it that in spite of 2nd October holiday, you have the 30th September, they took cognizance, 2nd October holiday, then you have the Dashera holidays and all that. The Maharashtra police, in 6 days or 4 days or 5 days, decided it's a terror attack and going through all the procedures involved, notified that ATS will handle this. Right. The procedure takes 10 to 12 days. And number two, recently the High Court judgment has come in the Mumbai train serial blast. It took 7 months for the ATS to identify the perpetrators. Whereas in these days it was 7 days or 12 days or 15 days. Some 19th of October, I don't know the date.
Right.
19th of October, Sadhvi was arrested. 28th of October, Col Purohit was arrested.
Now, I want to pick on the first point. Mr. Mani, you know what you're saying, and it's important that our viewers understand what you're saying. You are saying in June 2006, or, the better way is to say that from June 2006, there was a concerted effort by the people in power to coin this term, to perpetuate this saffron terror / Hindu terror theory, to mainstream it, so to say. And you are saying that Shivraj Patil, the then Home Minister, was only a namesake Home Minister. The actual Home Minister was Digvijay Singh. This the people of the country must know.
You are very true. That I already called out in the... I have used the very word unattached. That means uninvolved. How much of involvement was there? We do not know. What was the arrangement between the two? We do not know. But Shivraj Patil was a titular Home Minister. There is no second opinion on this.
Right. And then from June 2006 onward, Mr. Mani, as we all know, and as the truth has not come out, people like Mr. Chidambaram, then you had Sushil Kumar Shinde, others who were part of the larger ecosystem manipulated the entire system and framed some individuals so that they could put forth the theory and say that, look, what we were saying was right. There is actually something called as saffron terror, Hindu terror. Mr. Mani.
Yes. The Hindu terror was never existent. There was no evidences, there was nothing, it was all botched up. That is the reason, see, there are two aspects of it. Hindu terror, they tried to seed it into the Samjhauta blast. If you read my second book, which is a fiction, called Deception, the Hindu terror, the Samjhauta blast, who were the perpetrators, where they came from, everything could be smelt from that, concluded from that. Having said that, in spite of that, the government of India went on to frame innocent Hindu Swamijis and others. But what happened? In the bargain, the real perpetrators escaped out, left the country and escaped within 14 days. There is another aspect of the Samjhauta blast. Arif Kasmani, who had really perpetuated the terror, who had taken a sort of supari on behalf of the ISI, he kept on shouting from all over the international media that it is I who have done this. Because the ISI said, Government of India is claiming Hindus have done it. You won't get your whatever arrangement it is. So he was fighting the real perpetrators, shouting with the housetop. He using the American media, using the international media. But the Government of India kept on saying, no, it's a Hindu.
And Mr. Mani, I'm sure you know of the rerun that has happened. Pakistani terror group TRF, the proxy of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, is claiming responsibility for the Pahalgam attack. And you have Mr. Chidambaram asking, how do we even know that the terrorists came from Pakistan? This is the same script, only the names and the individuals have changed.
Precisely. There's a sort of repeat performance by Chidambaram, by a Congress senior minister, senior ex-minister, having said that even in this, Ahle Hadith, repeatedly people have been saying that the concerned Now he retired as additional DG of police Maharashtra, Mr. P.K. Jain. He has been not now, he has been saying for quite some time that it is LA Hadis. Because he is the first responder to the attack. Because at the first, then how do they decide that it's a terror attack and transfer it to ATS? And ATS goes on a breakneck speed. I wish all the cases are solved like this, but it will never be.
And because you're
Number
talking
4.
of the ATS, Mr. Mani, let's talk about the ATS and the torture inflicted on Colonel Purohit, Sadhvi, Pragya by ATS. I want you to take names of officers. Let's name and shame them today.
The one officer is now no more, so there is no point. He started off the entire scene. For 40 days he continued to start it, but justice was done to him in 26/11. By the nature, I do not want to call out that.
Right, our viewers get the drift, yes.
So having get that, subsequently his successor, because Srikant Purohit had been warned, he was also a ace. My information is, in the corridors of North Block, Srikant Purohit had already got an inclination that you have touched a raw nerve in the, your reports are touching a raw nerve in the organization, be fair. This was by his earlier, the Karkare's predecessor, when Mr. Raghuvanshi or no, I don't recall the name. He left in 2005. Subsequent Karkare joined it. Karkare, people don't speak ill of a dead person, but let us be very clear, he had been already had a record of having not completed and sent back early from his tenure in RAW in late 90s. So, where he was buttering which side of the world he was doing politicalizing
right,
or professionally, that is $1 million question. Let us leave it at that. Having said that, you take even the 26/11 attack or other attacks, kept on saying that even 26/11 attack was a Hindu terror. Not just that, if you take Abdul Rahman Antule's statement in Rajya Sabha on 19th December 2008, you can very clearly say that he was trying to drift. He was trying to entirely deviate the entire system from the core terror attack to convert it into a. Another thing, take the statement Suwamoto of P. Chidambaram on 11th December 2008, Lok Sabha, available on the website.
Right.
Read through the lines. It is very clear that he was trying to deviate the entire blame. You were trying to shift. What was happening there? Who is responsible? And number 2 is no security agency abandons a hostile thing.
Right.
But in Chidambaram's statement I mentioned now, he says Indian Navy did not get any further help, they abandoned it. Was it abandoned or was it directed to abandon? These are all questions. Congress should come on real culprits, real perpetrators of terror should be brought.
Mr. Mani,
otherwise,
as someone who was part of the system, which is why I said you are the insider, you were there in the MHA. How was the system manipulated, sir? Would you, give a few examples so that our viewers understand what we are talking about?
System was manipulated by the local police. Now, for example, Abhinav Bharat. A mention has been made about it in the judgment, that they were members or not members or whatever it is. Abhinav Bharat was abandoned by Veer Savarkar in 1953. It took a rebirth in 2005 when there was an NCP government at the state, Congress NCP, and a UPA government at the center. Now the question is, how did it take a rebirth? To take a rebirth, Charities Commissioner, Registrar of Society, all the state government officials of Maharashtra have to clear it. They must have certainly cleared it, only then account opening. Then where did the funds come from? There's $1 million question nobody is raising. If you say IB, if it was a laundered fund, if it was even for a Hindu cause, if there were anything challenging the security, IB, our intelligence agency would have alerted it. There was no alert. So naturally the funds were coming there. Shivraj Patil was full knowledge of where the funds were coming. He should come and answer now why it was coming into Abhinav Bharat's account and how they were manipulating and all these things.
Those who are no more, obviously can't come back to answer. But Dr. Mani, we get the larger point that you are making. Before we let you go, Please tell our viewers how you were subjected to mental torture, intimidation, what have you, by the system when you decided to be the whistleblower, when you said enough is enough, I am going to now go out and tell the truth to the world.
See, basically, I was chased several times. When I said there are no Hindu terror cases on 1st June 2006, at that time, many people were after me. Thereafter, you know about the Samjhauta blast, they used to say, you don't get involved in that, my officers were protecting me, don't come in front of the senior officers. Ministers, they will harass you. In the case of that Jabez Ahmed and the two Ahmeds, one from the Glasgow airport case, that also they were trying to hush up the matter. And at that time also I was chased, I was warned, forewarned, everything. Several cases, Makkah Masjid also, I was forewarned. Then in 26/11 also, because there were no other officer, 26/11, it was a very planned way that there was somebody was asked to file a contempt case, and another gentleman advised the Home Secretary that this fellow should go. It was not even relating to me. He should go to Lucknow. That means the entire plan was to detain me in Lucknow.
Hound you out. The entire plan was to force you out of the system so that you can't come in the way of their sinister plans. Mr. Mani, thank you for speaking to Times Now. We'll try and connect with you again as we build up the coverage on Times Now, sir. Swati Joshi, Swati, you heard the insider, the whistleblower really of this case. He was in the Ministry of Home Affairs then, and he's had many things to say.
Absolutely. Pranesh, thank you very much for getting us that perspective from Mr. Mani, the insiders exposing the lie, the Hindu terror narrative that was spread and how people were targeted. But today, in a verdict that bludgeoned the very foundations of the Hindu terror lie that was deliberately scripted 17 years ago when the UPA government was in power, a special NI court in Mumbai has acquitted all the 7 accused in the 2008 Malegaon blast case, from being branded saffron terrorists to emerging as symbols of vindication. Former BJP MP Sadhvi Pragya Thakur, former Indian Army officer Lt Col Purohit and 5 others have been cleared of all charges in a case that had become a political, ideological and institutional minefield. The court said that no reliable or cogent evidence was found against the accused and that mere suspicion cannot lead to conviction. And with that, the Hindu terror narrative officially collapsed.
कोर्ट के सीधे से ऑब्जर्वेशन ये है कि आरोपी के खिलाफ कौन सा ही पुरावा आया नहीं है, सबूत नहीं दाखिल कर पाई प्रोसिक्यूशन, इस वजह से कोर्ट ने निर्दोष मुक्तता कर दिया है। मेरे क्लाइंट के ऊपर जो आरोप लगे हुए थे उस आरोप से पूर्णतः मुक्तता कर दी गई वाली। मेरे क्लाइंट के ऊपर थे कि उनके घरों में से कुछ आरडीएक्स के स्ट्रेचर्स मिले थे, ऐसा उनका प्रोसिक्यूशन का एलिगेशन था, बट कोर्ट ने सिद्ध कर दिया है, डिक्लेयर कर दिया है कि वो ऐसे कुछ नहीं मिले हैं बोल के। नहीं, हमारे पास किसी भी एक्यूज के पास में किसी भी बॉम्ब के केवल ट्रेसेस नहीं रिकवर हुए। कोर्ट सिर्फ जजमेंट करता है, मैटर के ऊपर जजमेंट किया है, बाकी पॉलिटिक्स कोर्ट नहीं करता है सर। जो एविडेंस आया उसके ऊपर कोर्ट ने हमारा एक्विटल दिया है।
No evidence against the accused. So while pronouncing today's judgment, Special Judge Lt Lahoti said prosecution failed to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. The court also said UAPA charges were not sustainable in the case. Let's break down the details of the observations of the court, the order that came in today. Observation number 1, manipulation in medical certificates. Observation number 2, failed to show bomb was planted on bike. They could only prove that the bomb blast took place. Observation number 3, no evidence of RDX in Lt Col Purohit's residence. Observation number 4, no evidence that Purohit assembled the bomb. So no traces of RDX at his place, no proof that he was the one who assembled the bomb. Observation number 5, no evidence of who parked the motorcycle. Observation number 6, IO, the investigating officer, did not make any sketch map on the spot, the blast site. Observation number 7, no empty shells were seized and no DNA was collected. Observation number 8, no fingerprints, dump data was collected by the team. Observation number 9, evidence contaminated, result can't be accurate. So medical certificates manipulated and evidence contaminated. Those are the observations coming in from the special court. Observation number 10, Same vehicle, but chassis number was wiped out. These are the loopholes that were highlighted while giving the verdict. Observation number 11, no cogent and reliable evidence against Sadhvi Pragya Thakur. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the other observations. Number 12, no reliable evidence that Pragya owned the vehicle, the motorbike that we are talking about. Number 13, Sadhvi, a sannyasi, renounced material world. Let's move on. Observation number 14, no evidence to prove conspiracy meetings took place for the blast. So there's no evidence to establish that. Observation number 15, both prosecution sanction orders defective. Observation number 16, unauthorized interception of data by the agency. Observation number 17, can't establish that Purohit used money for terror. And observation number 18 says, mere suspicion can't lead to conviction in the case. While observing all these facts related to the case, the special NIA court acquitted all the 7 accused in the Malegaon bomb blast case. We have Nilesh and Arunil joining us on the broadcast. Let me quickly go across to my colleagues. Nilesh, I believe, is joining us from Malegaon. Nilesh, these are the observations of the court, pointing out the loopholes. Only the fact that the bomb blast took place was established. Nothing apart from that. Who placed the vehicle at that spot? Whether or not the bomb was planted on the vehicle. No links to establish money used by Colonel Purohit for terror. No RDX traces at his residence. No evidence to cite that he was the one who assembled the bomb. All these observations that led to the verdict, acquitting all the 7 accused.
Well, yes, Swati, those are very strong observation coming in from the special NIA court, which in its 100-pager report, or we can say order, had mentioned that there are multiple levels of loopholes that have been witnessed by the court itself. The primary reason being that the investigating agency has been terming it as a bomb blast, but is unable to prove what exactly led to this explosion, who exactly planted this bomb, and who did this vehicle belong to. So that is the primary part of investigation, and even in 17 long years, the investigating agency were unable to prove it. The agency later on goes on stating that how Colonel Purohit and one other individual forming a Hindu organization was working and somewhat giving logistics and financial support for the entire operation, but was unable to establish any financial link between the said blast and the money being taken out from this particular organization. So again, a very primary part of investigation with which the investigating agency failed to establish.
Absolutely. Nilesh, please stay on with us. Let me throw some light on the breaking inputs that we're getting at the moment. And this, in fact, is the first statement of Lieutenant Colonel Shrikant Purohit after the acquittal. He says, I'm grateful to the judiciary. I'm grateful to the army. Nothing above nation. Once again, reiterating that nothing is above nation for him. Arunil is also with us on the broadcast. Let's first listen into that statement. The first reaction from Lieutenant Colonel Purohit.
I'm extremely grateful to all of you. I'm extremely grateful to the environment, to my nation, and all those who stood by me. I'm extremely grateful first and foremost to my organization, which is known to hold the hand of their own soldiers and their own officers. I'm repeating myself, there cannot be a better organization than the Indian Army. Please note this.
It's a long wait, 17 years long wait, but
Saffron terrorism rhetoric being busted, how do you respond to that?
So those things which are gone by are gone by. I will not make any statement which will have a political tinge. I was accused of something. Today I have been exonerated. I'm out of it. I'm happy about it. I'm grateful to my lawyers, and especially I want to make a mention about my lawyer, late Mr. Shrikant Shivde. He is no more with us, but the fight which he made us fight, walk on the path which prevailed.
Let me go across to Arunila. Arunila, after facing a harrowing time for 17 years and the torture that he had to endure, Lieutenant Col Purohit in that first reaction isn't blaming anyone. He says, I'm not going to say anything that is going to lead to political tensions. He's only grateful to the judiciary and most important to the Indian Army.
Well, certainly, yes. This is the same statement that he spoke about inside the courtroom as well, basically paying his tribute to the Indian Army, saying that they stood by me when I needed them the most. Has refrained from making any kind of political statements or political attacks. Now, coming to this judgment today in the special NIA court, there are few takeaways from it, Swati. First is, yes, the 7 accused that have been fighting this legal battle since 17 years, they have been exonerated today, acquitted of all the charges. The second takeaway basically from this is that the honorable judge mentioned about the fact that terror has no color, terror has no religion. So basically the saffron terror rhetoric that was been propagated primarily by the ATS, which was functioning under the UPA regime between 2008 to 2014, because UPA regime was in power in Maharashtra until 2014. That has been defloated now or deflated now by the court. But the most important thing over here is there is still no justice for those 6 innocent lives that were lost in Malegaon, as well as close to 100 people who suffered serious injuries because of this blast. Recently also, there was another case, that was 2006 Mumbai train blast case. In that as well, all the accused were exonerated. 189 victims, they have no answers. They don't know who exactly put those bombs in those trains. Similar is the case in Malegaon as well.
Question, Arunil, was the priority ever to ensure justice for the victims, or political convenience of coining the word saffron terror and blaming it all on those who belonged to Hindu groups? Was that the only priority and agenda? Let's once again listen into what Colonel Purohit had to say after being acquitted by the special NIA court.
I'm extremely grateful to all of you. I'm extremely grateful to the environment, to my nation, and all those who stood by me. I am extremely grateful first and foremost to my organization, which is known to hold the hand of their own soldiers and their own officers. I am repeating myself, there cannot be a better organization than the Indian Army. Please note this.
It's a long wait, 17 years long wait, but justice has prevailed finally.
Saffron terrorism rhetoric being busted, how do you respond to that?
So those things which are gone by are gone by. I will not make any statement which will have a political tinge. I was accused of something. Today I have been exonerated. I am out of it. I am happy about it. I am grateful to my lawyers, and especially I want to make a mention about my lawyer, late Mr. Shrikant Shivde. He is no more with us. But the fight which he made us fight, walk the path which prevailed. My other lawyer who fought this case, Advocate Nandu Phadke, Sadanand Phadke, and the main fighters of this case, my young lawyers, that is Viral Babar, his senior Amit Ghak, and the youngest amongst them, Yasir Khan. They were the main Bennett chargers in this case. So I am grateful to all of them. Lawyers at Supreme Court and subsequently who provided incessant support to us. Senior counsel Harish Salve and Mukul Rodgi sir.
Okay, sir.
And I must make a mention here that all these lawyers have fought this case pro bono, because they knew what the fact is. I am indebted to these people, and I shall remain under their debts, because no amount of compensation is going to pull me out of this.
How do you look at the probe during the UPA regime?
जिसकी वजह से तकलीफें उठानी पड़ी, उसको भी सजा हो, उसकी भी जांच हो.
यार क्यों जाते हो पीछे यार? तकलीफ होती है. ठीक है जी.
Taklif hoti hai, says Lieutenant Colonel. Also says no amount of compensation is going to pull me out of this. My colleague Makrand is also joining us on the broadcast from Bhopal, reporting from outside Sadhvi Pragya Thakur's residence. Makrand, अगर आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं, सुबह साध्वी प्रज्ञा की बहन से बात हुई थी और परिवार का दर्द उन्होंने बताया था. पिछले 17 सालों से इस दिन का इंतजार था, लेकिन भूल नहीं पाएंगे, भले ही एक्विटल हो जाए, भूल नहीं पाएंगे कि कितनी प्रताड़ना, यातना और टॉर्चर झेलना पड़ा था.
देखिए, बिल्कुल मैं उमा भारती के निवास पर हूं अभी, और तस्वीरें आपको दिखा रहा हूं. यहाँ ये पटाखे छुड़ाए जा रहे हैं, आतिशबाजी चल रही है, यहाँ पर ढोल बज रहे हैं. आतिशबाजी की तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं. यहाँ तमाम जो कार्यकर्ता पहुंचे हुए हैं, उनसे पूछते हैं कितना आज उत्साह है, कितना जोश.
बहुत उत्साह है. आज सत्य की जीत हुई है, और ये जीत का जो जैसे कांग्रेस का कहना था कि हिंदू भगवा आतंकवाद होता है, आज उस चीज को साबित
नहीं होता है, ये सिद्ध हो गया है। उमा भारती जिंदाबाद है, प्रज्ञा ठाकुर जिंदाबाद है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिंदाबाद।
कितना उत्साह है आज मालेगांव ब्लास्ट के आरोपियों को बरी कर दिया है, कितना उत्साह है?
हिंदुस्तान में क्या पूरे वर्ल्ड में, पूरा हिंदुओं में बहुत बड़े भारी उत्साह है। सनातन धर्म की विजय हुई है, हिंदू धर्म की विजय हुई है, भगवा की विजय हुई है। जो भगवा आतंकवाद नाम लेके दिग्विजय सिंह जैसे कांग्रेसी लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी और हिंदू धर्म को बदनाम कर रहे थे, वो हिंदू धर्म की बहुत बड़ी विजय हुई, सनातन धर्म की बहुत बड़ी विजय
हुई है। यहाँ देखिए ढोल नगाड़े बज रहे हैं, उमा भारती के निवास पर हम इस समय मौजूद हैं और ये जो ढोल की तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, जश्न की तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, ये तस्वीरें केवल और केवल इसलिए हैं क्योंकि सनातन को लेकर के जो आरोप लग रहे थे, सनातन को लेकर के जो भगवा आतंकवाद कहा जा रहा था, लगातार आरोप लगाए जा रहे थे अलग अलग तरीके से। कभी कांग्रेस के नेता हिंदूवादी संगठनों को लेकर के कमेंट करते थे, कभी भगवा को आतंकवाद कहते थे। इन सब आरोपों पर सीधे तौर पर इस कोर्ट के निर्णय ने दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी कर दिया है। अभी उमा भारती से हमारी बात हुई, उमा भारती ने भी ये कहा कि इस निर्णय से वो काफी भावुक है, काफी संतुष्ट है।
मकरंद आप हमारे साथ बने रहिए। Celebrations outside the residence of Uma Bharti. Now, in an emotional moment, Sadhvi Pragya broke down when she heard about her acquittal in court after the judgment was announced. She relived moments of pain, torture and said, today Bhagwa has won. Hindutva has won and that God will punish those who tried to defame Bharat. Lieutenant Colonel Lt Purohit addressed the judge in court and thanked him for restoring public's faith in the justice system, in judiciary. He started by saying Jai Hind and went on to say that he's a soldier who loves his desh. He further added that he does not blame any organization for the ordeal he faced because he believes people in organizations are the ones who indulge in wrongdoings. Back in 2019, Sadhvi Pragya had spoken about the inhuman torture that was meted out to her. Listen in.
24 दिनों तक मैंने सिर्फ पानी पिया है, अन्न नहीं खाया, कुछ भी नहीं खाया। बिना कुछ खाए सिर्फ पानी पीती थी, बिना कुछ खाए, बिना कुछ बोले और बिना सोए हुए सिर्फ पिटती थी और गालियां खाती थी। भारत माता की जय! लेकिन उनको नहीं पता था कि देशभक्तों की ताकत क्या होती है, देशभक्तों में कितनी शक्ति होती है कि विधर्मियों को क्या पता है।
All right, let's take a look at what Sadhvi Pragya said after she got bail. Wrongly incarcerated for years. You heard that, in fact, in her reaction that we just played out for you as well. The torture that she had to endure, what she had to go through. She was beaten by male officers with a belt. 24 दिनों तक खाना नहीं खाया, सिर्फ पानी पिया, सोती थी, उसके बाद मुझे पीटते थे. You heard it from Sadhvi Pragya herself. Cops hurled filthy abuses at me, wanted to forcibly extract a confession out of me, wanted me to name, to implicate RSS leaders. This is the reason why she was being tortured behind the bars in the jail by men, by police officers who were beating her with belt. 24 दिनों तक मैंने खाना नहीं खाया था, सिर्फ पानी पी रही थी. That's what Sadhvi Pragya said while talking about the pain, the torture that she had to go through when she was jailed. She was called in for an investigation, Sadhvi Pragya said earlier, but later she was arrested. Now we are also joined by Deshratan Nigam, a lawyer, and Syed Jawad, political analyst. We'll go across to them and discuss the nitty-gritties of the case, but not just that, the narrative that was peddled around Sadhvi Pragya and Lieutenant Colonel Purohit as well. But for the moment, we're taking a very short break. Who are with us on the broadcast? Syed Jawad, what are your views? Do you think that those 17 years can really be brought back for these two? Can this torture that they have faced be undone? And shouldn't people who jumped the gun and tagged them terrorists before the courts could announce verdict apologize today?
Thank you so much for giving me such an opportunity. I don't know why the entire BJP are really celebrating that judgment, because it's a judgment, not a justice, that the entire opposition leader are saying. Because those who are actually killed in that bomb blast. मतलब आप if you are facing the pain of that entire family who's also suffered from the 17 years and they are still waiting for the justice, and they are not getting the justice right now. So nobody is talking about those families who will.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And on this very broadcast, I said, was the priority ever to ensure justice for the victims, or was the priority only to peddle a narrative? Peddle a narrative that this is nothing but Hindu terror. Stop at that.
Look the dual face of Bharatiya Janata Party. One side in the Mumbai train blast case, you will go to the Supreme Court. And this case you are celebrating. You have the dual faces on the terrorism.
So what about the duplicity, sir? What about the duplicity of those who said that innocents were put behind bars? That they suffered for those many years in jails? What about the duplicity? What about the duplicity of those people?
We want
is justice not needed in that case?
Want justice.
Mr. Jawad, is justice not is justice not to be served to the victims of the train bombings?
No, if you are talking about the justice system and the process of the judicial process, you will see the two faces of the Bharatiya Janata Party. One side, you will go to the higher court and Supreme Court on that terrorism issue, and second time you are celebrating that issue. How can you say that people are मतलब उनके साथ तो इंसाफ नहीं हो रहा?
नहीं, मैं वही कह रही हूँ सैयद जवाद, मैं वही कह रही हूँ कि चाहे मालेगांव का मामला हो, चाहे इससे पहले मुंबई के आपने ट्रेन ब्लास्ट का जिक्र किया, अगर अक्विट कर दिया गया है, तो जो विक्टिम्स थे क्या उनको किसी ने नहीं मारा? ये सवाल तो मुंबई के ट्रेन ब्लास्ट के लिए भी होना चाहिए। अगर सिंपथीज हैं,
बिल्कुल हो रहा,
अगर सिंपथीज जिनको अक्विट किया गया है उनके साथ है कि इनके इतने साल जेल में बर्बाद हो गए, तो इस केस में क्यों आप ऐसा कह रहे हैं कि ये केवल जजमेंट है, दिस इज नॉट जस्टिस? इनको भी तो 17 साल झेलना पड़ा।
बिकॉज जो फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं, दे आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड देयर जज। उनकी फैमिली वालों के साथ इंसाफ कौन होगा? जो 100 से ज्यादा लोगों जख्मी हुए, और आप इस केसेस में देखिए बहुत ज्यादा स्टेटमेंट चेंज भी हुए, 350 ज्यादा लोगों के स्टेटमेंट लिए गए। उसके बाद क्या होता है, बहुत से स्टेटमेंट चेंज होते हैं, 4 जज जो है वो बदले जाते हैं, और बहुत सी जगह पे स्टेटमेंट देने के बाद फिर पलटे गए। तो देयर इज सो मेनी लूप होल्स इन देयर स्टोरी।
ओके, The loopholes will be the loopholes, सैयद जवाद, मैं तो कह रही हूँ, loopholes अगर हैं, कोई उसको पॉइंट आउट करना चाहता है हायर कोर्ट्स में जाके, तो उनको कोई नहीं रोक रहा है। लेकिन क्या था एजेंडा, प्रायोरिटी क्या थी? नहीं, एक मिनट, प्रायोरिटी क्या थी देश रत्न निगम? व्हाट वाज द प्रायोरिटी? वाज द प्रायोरिटी एवर टू एंश्योर जस्टिस फॉर द विक्टिम्स, और वाज द प्रायोरिटी टू peddle a narrative and say, you know, look, these people who belong to Hindu organizations or are Hindus, they are responsible, and hence saffron terror, Bhagwa Atankwad? Was that the priority?
Well, Swati, in fact, justice was long overdue in Malegaon case. It has rightly come, although delayed for a few years. Therefore, at this point of time, I can clearly say that the case was manufactured artificially, and the concept of saffron terror was brought in, and people associated with the Bhagwa Hindutva were artificially framed, and therefore the court could easily look into it. And today what has happened is, if you look at the judgment, everything seems to be manufactured. The witnesses turned hostile because they were pressurized to give certain kind of statements. As a lawyer, I can tell you police does so. Number of times they pressurized just to say that the case has been solved. The role of Maharashtra ATS is very questionable, and innocence being framed, who is going to take those people to task? Is a question, very important question. Nobody could connect the motorcycle to the Sadhvi ji, and large number of cases, the evidence. In fact, this is a case of no evidence, and still these people had to suffer for 17 years.
Absolutely, and those 17 years cannot be brought back for them. The torture that they had to endure cannot be undone. But those who peddled a narrative and tagged them as terrorists, they can own up. They can apologize. Will that happen? Desh Ratna Nigam and Syed Jawad, that's all the time I have for the debate. Thank you very much for joining us.